Who's actually going to get the most out of a professional-grade alto sax like this? Who should walk away? And does the price make sense for the average gigging player? If you've ever stood in a music store staring at a lacquered sax and wondered if the Pro label is just a marketing tag, you're not alone. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The decision to spend a serious chunk of money on a new instrument isn't just about the finish, it's about how the instrument fits into the day-to-day reality of practice rooms, travel gigs, and the occasional studio session. In this review I'll walk through the practical side of owning a Yamaha YAS 62III in a gold lacquer finish, looking at who will truly benefit, where the trade-offs hide, and whether the price is justified for players who aren't already professionals. First off, let's talk about the kind of player who actually needs a YAS 62III. If you're a student still in the high school band, you'll probably be better off with a student model sax. Those instruments are built to be durable and affordable, and they get you through the learning curve without breaking the bank. The YAS 62III, on the other hand, is aimed at advancing players, college majors, semi-professional giggers, and anyone who regularly records or performs in ensembles where tone consistency matters. The instrument's professional-level intonation and response are most evident when you're asked to blend with a horn section or deliver a solo that demands a rich, centered sound. If you're the type who practices 2 hours a day, runs through scales, and needs a sax that won't struggle with the upper register, this is the kind of sax that will actually reward your effort. Now, who should skip it? If you're primarily a hobbyist who plays once a week for fun, the YAS 62III will likely feel like overkill. The gold lacquer is gorgeous, but it won't change the fact that a higher-priced instrument also brings higher maintenance expectations. You'll need to be diligent about swabbing after each use, keeping the keys properly lubricated, and occasionally having a technician check the pad alignment. For a casual player, the time and money spent on that upkeep can quickly outweigh the tonal benefits. Also, if you travel a lot and need an instrument that can survive being tossed in a hard case for weeks at a time, a rugged student model may be more forgiving. The professional lacquer finish looks fantastic on stage, but it's more susceptible to scratches if the case gets jostled in a cramped gig van. Let's get into the practical strengths that actually show up when you're playing. The first thing many players notice is the way the YAS 62III responds across the entire range. When you start a low B and pull through to a high F, the note stays centered and the tone doesn't suddenly become thin. That consistency is a direct result of Yamaha's careful bore design and the hand finishing of the keywork. In a real-world setting, say, a marching band rehearsal outdoors, this means you can rely on the instrument to stay in tune even when the temperature shifts unexpectedly. I've heard musicians describe the gold lacquer as warm and bright at the same time, which isn't just a visual impression. The lacquer actually helps the instrument settle more quickly after a long warm-up, reducing the time you spend tweaking intonation. Another tangible advantage is the ergonomics of the key layout. The YAS 62III has a slightly offset A key and a smooth F-octave mechanism that makes quick transitions between registers feel natural. For someone who spends a lot of time sight-reading complex jazz charts, that can reduce hand fatigue during long gigs. The thumb rests are shaped to accommodate different hand sizes, and the overall balance feels stable when you stand for an entire set. In my own testing, playing a fast bebop tune, then switching to a legato ballad, the instrument stayed comfortable, and the key action remained crisp without any sticky moments that can ruin a solo. On the flip side, there are a few practical weaknesses to consider. The gold lacquer, while stunning, does require more careful handling than a standard matte finish. A stray fingertip can leave a faint smudge that is hard to remove without a special cleaning cloth. If you're the type who doesn't keep a polishing kit on hand, the instrument can look dull after a few weeks of regular use. Another point is the price point itself. You're looking at a six-figure investment in musical gear, and while Yamaha's reputation for reliability is solid, there isn't a guarantee that every unit will be flawless out of the box. Some owners report having to send the sax back for a pad adjustment within the first few months, which adds both cost and inconvenience. If you're not comfortable budgeting for a professional setup and occasional service, that hidden expense may bite. A third practical concern is the learning curve associated with a professional instrument's break-in period. Unlike a student sax that sounds decent from day one, a YAS 62III can feel a bit tight until the pads.